I understand you're upset. We need to talk about that. When are you able to come over later? Why is that not the only text you're sending? The text medium is not something we've evolved to communicate with each other with for very long, right? So ancient man was not texting other ancient men or women or whatever. We're social animals. We're designed to be physically in front of each other and communicating. And the further we distance ourselves from being face to face with somebody, the more difficult that communication can be, and the more that somebody can insert whatever's going on in their own head and their own filters into that communication. If I'm in front of a woman, I can use my tonality, my body language, my eye contact, my sub communication. All right. I can use all of that stuff in order to convey the message I want to convey, and and to be able to control my frame in the frame of this interaction. Now, she is on an evolutionary level designed to follow and fall into the leadership of a dominant man. That's the truth about the sexual marketplace that women don't like to admit oftentimes, and but it's true. Instinctually speaking, she is designed, her chimp brain is designed to fall in line with the leadership of a dominant man. And that leadership gets executed face to face. What about texting? Well, here's the thing about this. She understands, there's an innate part of her that understands that by being in front of you, you have influence over her emotions, and you have influence over her in terms of your level of dominance. She knows that she might crumble in front of you, essentially, and lose the frame that she is trying to keep in the moment that she's upset or mad at you or trying to justify whatever feelings that she has in her head. And so she will use sometimes the medium of the texting or of the technology to try to distance herself from being in front of you and facing you, and then acting like the way that she wants to act. So what happens is she'll send you guys will get anxious because some of you dudes, this girl texts you something that you don't like, and you get into this texting thing, and now you're texting back and forth with her, and you're getting in this toxic pattern, you're getting in arguments, texting her, blah, blah, blah. Well, you said this, and then blah, blah. And you're getting down this rabbit hole, you know what I mean? And and so yeah. I mean, if you guys are getting down that rabbit hole with this chick, you're doing the wrong thing. Now, here's why that's wrong, because you're actually losing frame. She is using this technological barrier, whether she's doing it intentionally or not, isn't the point. It's she has a technological barrier for being able to come into your frame the way that she is evolutionarily designed to do it, which is physical face to face. It's going to be a lot harder for her to act the way that she's acting and to be in her state of mind when she's in front of you. So she's using this text thing and she's forcing a text conversation, essentially, or you are perhaps. And then she has got you where she wants you. When she has you, I say where she wants you, but where her power is when you don't have emotional self control. When you're in a state of being emotionally erratic and arguing and participating in this back and forth, that's where she has the power. She at that point normally has the frame at that point. Okay. And so you can't allow for that kind of communication because it's always a losing proposition. You could win the argument through this back and forth, in which case you lose in the long run because her emotions drift away from you. And then she interprets all of your actions through the lens of someone who's not as emotionally bought in to who you are and her attraction towards you. Or you could, you know, you could lose the argument or compromise, in which case you lose that dominance, right? You end up admitting fault and I'm sorry and all this stuff. But in the context of this argument, now you place yourself in a lesser position than her, if that makes any sense, which is not good for her attraction level. Because hypergamously speaking, you're demonstrating that she's better than you. So what happens is she is going to filter whatever you write to her through whatever emotional state she's in at the time. So what's her emotional state? What emotional state do you think she's in when you're in a conflict and she's giving you that shitty text, right? And she's mad. What emotional state do you think she's in, right? Not going to be good, okay? Her feelings about you are based, or her perception of you is completely based in her feelings at the time, right? She thinks you're the best dude on the planet when her emotions are high for you. She thinks you're maybe kind of an a-hole, or she's not focused, put it this way. She's not focused on he's my apex alpha. When she's mad at you, it's he's a jerk, he's an a-hole, I can't believe he did this, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's less than favorable. And so everything you write to her is only going to confirm the bias she has. Doesn't matter. There is no way you're going to write anything to her that's not going to confirm her anger, confirm her being upset. It's not going to bring her down. I mean, most of the time, right? There's few circumstances where that can be different, but most of the time, you're not going to quell or cure her emotional state through your texts, especially if you don't agree with her state and what's going on. It's one thing if she gets upset about something, and she's asking a question about something because she's upset, and you say, hey, here's the facts, so that you are, here's what it is. It's not what you think it is right now. It's this. And then she goes, oh, I understand. And then she feels better. That could happen. That'd be a rare case. I mean, let me try to think of an example. I mean, let's say, she's upset because you said you would do something or text her back, and then you got into a work emergency. And she's like, hey, what happened? I thought you were going to do this thing. But she's not attacking you, but you can tell she's a little bit upset over text. Just say, hey, I wasn't able to get to that yet. I have this emergency going on at work right now. I'll text you when I'm done. And then she goes, oh, okay, cool. Like, I get it now, right? That would be just a simple logistical thing, right? Where the information solves the problem. So that's the example of what I mean. However, for the most part, what if she's mad or upset about something? You're not going, if this goes beyond the example I just gave you, you're not going to make her feel better, certainly. You're not going to win this argument or exchange or pull her into your frame through your texting. Most likely, everything you write to her is only going to fuel a conflict, all right, and make it more toxic, or it's just going to fuel her current perceptions, which are at the moment that she's texting those things to you, indicating conflict. Those are bad perceptions, okay? I will watch guys, and I've watched it repeatedly, guys push themselves into breakups, push relationships into breakups by having toxic text exchanges. She's been thinking about breaking up or leaving this guy, let's say for a month or two. And then she's texting some stuff, and he is getting out of, he's getting out of his emotional state and texting back, what do you mean by that? And anxiety. And it's just fueling her perceptions of him as being not the guy she wants to be with. You know what I mean? And she might text something, and then he argument rebuttals. And then she takes everything he said, which may have been correct, may have been 100% right, and then just uses it against him to justify the breakup. You know what I mean? What do you do, man? You need to bring her into a discussion, and that is your frame, a face-to-face one. And then she might say, this is how you know she wants to keep barriers. And this is how you know that she is worried about losing her framework when she's like, I want these questions answered, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm not meeting you until you answer my questions. She'll say that. Or she'll just keep texting you to try to get answers. You don't respond. And you say to her, we need to be face to face and have a discussion like two adults. When you're ready to do that, come over tonight or come over this. Let me know when you can come over this week and we can have that discussion. Well, I'm not going to talk to you, and tell you whatever. And then well, that's your choice, not mine. Let me know when you're ready. You know where to find me. And then that's the last text you send to her. If she's going to break it up with you because you won't fall into her frame and have a text argument with her, that is her. She is toxic. She has a toxic human being. And you need to be happy that relationship's going to be over. Okay? So those of you guys are afraid of losing her. And so you need to text her and lose frame with the girl. If I don't text and answer her questions, she won't meet with me. You're in her frame. And it's not going to work regardless. A healthy human being who's supposed to be in some sort of relationship with someone, whether it's, casual, if you're banging, okay, that's kind of a relationship of some sort, even if she's just a plate, right? And a healthy human being is going to be willing to meet face to face, or at the very least, voice to voice or video to video. That is only assuming some extreme scenarios like when I was in Afghanistan. Right? Hey, if your guy is on a deployment, or if her guy is on a deployment or something, and you can't just meet up within 48 to 72 hours and be face to face, okay, I'll accept a Zoom video chat, right? Because that is the next step from being face to face. A voice call maybe, but it doesn't go anywhere past that. And even a voice call isn't as good as a video chat. Okay? And so, and don't just default to doing one of those two things and make excuses for yourself if you could actually be meeting, because within the next 72 hours or something like that. All right. There is nothing that is that urgent. And if it is that urgent, meaning like I'm going to break up with you right now, the second, instead of wait 2 days when you get back in town for us to talk, then guess what? That's her choice and the relationship's not worth it. All right. She should be okay waiting 48 hours to have a face-to-face with you. And a lot of these women are going to do this to try to pull you into their frame, and then they have dominance and leadership over you, which means they justify their lack of attraction towards you, and then they destroy the relationship that you're in. Don't allow her to do that. Don't allow her to do that. She's going to destroy it. Have it be because she did it on her own accord, not because you lost frame and you let her take the helm. Don't do it. That's it, man. So that's the message, right? Is that you don't allow for her to take the frame by continuing to pull you into a text banter back and forth that's going to ultimately be toxic and ultimately just justify her opinions she already has, right? Justify her negative emotional state, justify her negative perceptions towards you. Again, time and time again, I've had guys in consults after breakups and they tell me how it went down. And I watch this text exchange happen where literally they are sealing one more nail in that coffin for that relationship to end. And again, if she's going to destroy it, she's going to destroy it. But at least do your due diligence. All right. Because a lot of times those girls, if they were to be face to face, because he executed dominance and frame by not allowing her to have the conversation on her terms, right? Which is a exchange that's not conducive of two people having a good, healthy exchange with each other, which would be face to face. Her terms is to have an unhealthy exchange and to be able to decide whatever she wants to think about what you're saying and then discard you if that's where she's at. And I see that happen when she builds. And she's been thinking of that breakup, doing it over text, I'm telling you, is a recipe for disaster. You guys do it all the time because I have so many guys in consults and on these chats and stuff who've done it and they admit it. They say it. Or I texted her. I lost. We're in this argument. And so then I texted her this. Why are you texting her when you're in an argument? Why is that not, hey, I understand you're upset. We need to talk about that. When are you able to come over later? Why is that not the only text you're sending her?